Across Bristol, growing numbers of young people say getting onto the housing ladder feels further away than ever. High prices, rising rents and fierce competition for homes are leaving many locked out of the market altogether. There are also concerns about the type of housing being built, with critics arguing too much development is focused on student accommodation.
We've got a national crisis in terms of housing, insofar as that there are not enough houses in the right place. And I talk about houses as opposed to flats, which I think is relevant to this particular argument. The fact that Bristol has become a very attractive place for investors, there's a lot of new startups, so it's a good place to get a job. But the difficulty is, if you can get the job but the accommodation is too expensive, it kind of undermines that attractiveness. Now, we've had this for many years, probably for as long as I've been around in London, and indeed still pertains, although London is cooling a bit. But the fact that Bristol is, as I say, an attractive place is great news. Student accommodation, it tends to be city centre based, and also what it tends to be on a small footprint. So you get some old industrial properties, perhaps you knock them down and you can build a tower block, which is fine because of course what do students need? A bedroom and a communal space, and I'm probably oversimplifying it, but nonetheless, so there are good returns for the investors. But of course what you really need is more housing. And of course, you're not going to get that easily in city centres because, of course, there's not the land. It has to then be on the edges of the green belt, if you like. So, of course, you've then got the issues of commuting and so on and so forth.
Figures underline just how tough that challenge has become in Bristol. Recent data from Rightmove and the Office for National Statistics shows the average Bristol house price is now well above £350,000. That's significantly higher than the South West average. For first-time buyers, typical prices are still well over £300,000, while average earnings lag far behind. At the same time, private rents in Bristol regularly exceed £1,600 a month. It means many young adults struggle to save for a deposit while covering day-to-day costs.
So a real difficult one, and I can understand why young people are really angered by this, because of course they do need the places to, if you like, get on that property ladder and eventually to own the houses that they really desire. But of course, living in shared accommodation, which has been the case for many in London for years, is not ideal. And as I say, Bristol really needs to look at it like all other cities.
With demand for homes continuing to outstrip supply, questions remain about how Bristol can strike the right balance between new development, affordability and the needs of local communities. For many young people, the hope is that future planning decisions will make it easier, not just to live in the city, but to build a long-term future here too.